Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time we're with DNS, and this time we are in Kota for the US Grand Prix. So, coming into this one, my only hope is that it wasn't going to rain. So that was my big concern, and lo and behold, a beautiful dry race. So heading into this race, opportunity was there because SJD10 or STE wasn't going to be here tonight. So this presented a really good opportunity for me to kind of get myself back into the title race as such. But it doesn't start too well, as you'll find out right now. Oh shit, I'm running no traction. Bollocks. Forgot to turn back off.
Yeah.
Well, there goes that lap. Fuck me.
Are you doing the No Assist Championship?
No, I'm not, for exactly that reason. I was messing around with no traction there in a 5-lap lobby yesterday, and forgot I even had it in my head at some point during the day. It's like, don't forget to turn a full traction or medium traction back on. I didn't do it, so thankfully I didn't end up with a wall or with a damaged wing. But obviously my first lap was fairly screwed. But opportunity into this one was big because SJD10 wasn't here, so I can kind of get back into the title race. And this was a good track for me because I fared very well here in TMC. I finished second in the end, as we do a banker of a 33.4, which was not a good lap. Like, I wasn't. First sector was a disaster. So, anyways, second lap of I only got 2 laps in the end, so thankfully I didn't invalidate any, but I did bid into the first lap. I was just too tentative, like, on the second lap. I was just too conservative, and you're going to see that Steve takes provisional pole. Show George is in front of me as well, so I was up really well, and I got a bad run out of this last corner, and it cost me pole position. 11 or 12 thousandths in the end cost me in that last corner. Just if I had gotten a bit better, I would have been on pole position. But very tight up at the top between Steve, myself, and Show George. But I knew in my heart of hearts that I had a lot more in the tank to give. Like, I was doing 32s in time trial earlier that day. I was just conservative. I just didn't feel completely confident after that spin to kind of push it and maybe risk an invalidation. Because obviously not only did that ruin that lap, but eventually, like, I only got time for one run in the last run as well. But moving on to the race, one stop here. It's fairly simple, so that's what I'm hoping to do. Not sure what others are doing, but we shall find out. So, big opportunity for this race. See what I can do. I'm going to start on the front row, so let's see what I can do from here. 5 red lights and away we go. Equally good start from us both, between Steve and myself. He leaves the space, doesn't really come over, so I'm going to try one into turn 1 late in the brakes. Try not to damage him. He gets through those, so he's keeping that position. Calamity behind, and Show George ends up in an incident. Not too sure what happened there, but just going to file through this sector 1. And the big thing is not to get penalties this race. That was a big thing for me, was to, okay, even if Steve is quicker around here, if I can't get by him, play the long game and see what can happen. So initially the first stint was just me behind Steve. I had so much more pace, I felt, but I just kind of happy to chill. Just, he didn't get out my DRS or anything, so I just kind of stayed here and just kind of saw if an opportunity would come along. So lap 3, you can see we've dropped a bit of the field. We're gaining an advantage, and I'm just here, like, I'm just taking the time, short shifting where I can, and just trying to take care of the tyres a bit. Literally, like, I was just here behind Steve this entire time, not really, just not letting him get away, just keeping with it, seeing if an opportunity would present itself, but not. I wasn't going to force anything that wasn't there, or push extremely hard to cut corners to make sure I'm behind, like, right behind him coming out of this corner. Like, I'm not pushing to stick with him, so I'm risking the penalty that way. So just sticking with it. I didn't know what strategy he was doing, but I was hoping that, because he did a 2-stop in Japan, it's like, maybe he's going to go for the 2-stop again in here. So lap 7, so a few more laps to run for me on this stint. I was planning lap 9 or 10. Steve goes into the pit, so that, I was like, okay. I was hoping then the guys in the party would tell me then perhaps what tyre he might be on, as to give an indication that he's going for an early 1-stop, or is he doing the 2-stop. So as it turned out, he was doing the 2-stop, and I thought right there that, like, okay, this win should be mine. I didn't want to confirm it in my head, but I was like, it's going to be tough for him to win. So lap 10, I actually stretched the stint out a bit longer because I had such a gap over Caesar T-Pain in third, and I thought, okay, may as well do it. Before the Caesar came into the pits, of course. So you can see there that Steve is on ultras. He's just about to come around the last corner now. Set of softs for myself, and these will go handily to the end. So Steve there sets the fastest lap with 0.4. That person coming down the straight is indeed Caesar, who goes quickest. I thought, oh shit, this might be a little bit closer than I thought. Very, very, very important to get in front of him. His lag is difficult to get by. It makes life very, very difficult for everyone around him. And there you go. I got out in front, and just making sure I stuck in front. While these tyres felt good, I could just push through this S section, just beautifully clipping those curbs. And there you go, P11. So, sorry, not P11, that's lap 11. P2, 6 seconds behind Steve. So let's see what we can do. And later that lap, 37.1 from Steve. So that's kind of pace he set on ultras. So I thought, okay, let's see what pace I can set. And to my surprise, I come around this next lap. I'm going to dip into the 36s here. This is my fastest lap of the race. 36.9. I thought, wow, if I'm doing this pace on softs and he's on ultras, you know, it's game over. So from here on in, I gradually just reduced that gap as Steve's ultra softs kind of continued to wear. And lap 14, you can see like the gap is now 4.3 seconds. So like I've been very consistently in the 37s. I just gaining like all the time. Caesar dropping him as well, so who I think had to come into the pits again as well. So I'm looking at a very nice position here. Lap 15, Steve goes into the pits for his second stop on his super softs on his second stop there. So he's got 13 laps to make those work to try and catch up to me. So it's basically a whole pit stop he has to make up. So like I knew that wasn't going to happen, and it was just literally me just kind of just coasting from here on out. Like lap 20, you know, he's coming to the stops. He's around 12 seconds behind or so, and that's kind of where it stayed for a lot of the race, a lot of the second stint. But like honestly, for the last like 5-6 laps, I coasted along. You know, I just took care of everything. Short shifted. I really just went into conservative mode. I knew that there was absolutely no threat from behind, so I could save the tires. I could just keep at it. And honestly, like this is a short video because that was it, you know. That was it. With Steve not being there today, things obviously would have been a lot more difficult. But look, you race who's in front of you, who's with you, and these guys today, they fluffed up their strategies, do the 2-stop over the 1. Against me, on this track, you're not going to make that work. Against others, possibly, but with me doing the 1-stop, like. I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I'm just too consistent, like for you to just try the 2-stop. It just wasn't going to work today with Steve and Caesar. So, anyways, coming across the line, a very straightforward race. These you'll always take. A brilliant win today, absolutely dominating today. No penalties either. So, I think they won by 14 seconds in the end. So I could have even won by more if I had kept pushing. But you really do take these because, like. Honestly, throughout the season, I've had so many ups and downs. Tracks where I feel like I should have won, or I got taken out. I wasn't in my control. But with this, it was very straightforward. You'll take these. You really do take these because it's very rarely this straightforward. Like so, even in Japan, like I was, HYT was close enough to where I was like I couldn't drop off. Like he was close enough to keep me company. So. But this, no worries about that. Just consistency today was the big thing. But what it does do, it puts us right back in the title race with Steve. 37 points is the gap between, and there's 3 races left. So obviously it doesn't look great. But if he misses more races, which he could, I could easily get myself back in there. So look, we'll just go from there. I'll just see how it goes. But that's. Yeah, like I feel like I'm missing something to say, but there really wasn't. Like there really wasn't anything else to say. Like that's just how it went. Like so, that's the end of this race from DNS round number 17 in Australia. Good grief, in United States. Next up is Mexico, where I've warmed to a bit. I got a good result there in TMC, so hoping I can do something similar again. And yeah, really. Until next time, then. Later.